Welcome to Sage Audio. Today, let's look at how to level vocals. But first, if you have a mix that you need mastered, send it to us to receive a free mastered sample of it with the link in the description. Use level automation, process on bus. The tips in this video are in no particular order. Also, I'm going to admit that this can be a bit of a dry topic, but it's really important nonetheless. When trying to level your vocals, you can start with volume or level automation. Simply open your DAW's automation section and begin amplifying and attenuating. To make this easier, you can use the latch function and play the vocal while moving the fader up and down to write the data. Lastly, change the output of the track to a bus and insert your processing on that bus. Let's take a listen to a vocal that has had its level balanced with this method.
Love isn't fair, but why do I care? She doesn't listen. Love isn't fair, but why do I care? She doesn't listen.
Understanding automation routing issues. You might be wondering why we changed the output of the signal to a bus in the last chapter. Well, simply put, any volume automation that you do comes after a channel strips processing. In other words, any processing that you insert, like your EQ, compression, etc., will happen before volume changes. Now, ideally, we want to balance the volume of the signal prior to sending it to a processor. This way, that processing is more consistent. Let's listen to processing occurring before automation and notice how it doesn't have the same effect as the last chapter.
Love isn't fair, but why do I care? She doesn't listen. Love isn't fair, but why do I care? She doesn't listen.
If you're enjoying the video, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It's free and it helps us bring you more videos. Use clip gain, then saturate. If you prefer to add your processing to your vocal track and you don't want to set up a bus, but you want level changes to occur before your processing, start with clip gain. Clip gain adjusts the level of the actual waveform, which occurs before any processing. Now, I'm going to use this tape saturation plugin for my processing after clip gain to cause even more control. I'll increase the input, reduce the output, and increase some of the compression or glue function. Let's take a listen to this method being used to control the vocals level.
Love isn't fair, but why do I care? She doesn't listen. Love isn't fair, but why do I care? She doesn't listen.
Combining leveling and compression. One of the best ways to level your vocal is to first use clip gain or to use the automation routing that we discussed in chapter 1 and then compress. With the compressor, use a quick attack, release of 50 milliseconds, auto makeup gain, and with look ahead enabled if it's available. A soft knee setting is also going to help to control the vocal. In short, this is going to capture the vocal very quickly and adjust the level. When combined with previous level changes like clip gain, this is going to give you a significant amount of control. Let's take a listen.
Love isn't fair, but why do I care? She doesn't listen. Love isn't fair, but why do I care? She doesn't listen.
Is a vocal writer worth trying? You might have heard of a vocal writer and been curious about it. In short, it's a plugin that does level automation for you, given some parameters that you set beforehand. Now, in my experience, it doesn't always work perfectly, but if you're in a rush, it can definitely be helpful. Now, what's also convenient about it is that the level is changed within the insert section of your channel strip, meaning you can insert processing after the writer, and the vocal is going to be more consistent as it's run into your processing. Let's take a listen to a vocal writer being used.
Love isn't fair, but why do I care? She doesn't listen. Love isn't fair, but why do I care? She doesn't listen.
Leveling vocal highs with transient shaper. If you're finding that a vocal's highs are sticking out too much, maybe the sibilance is too aggressive or the singer got too close to the mic capsule and distorted it, use a transient shaper to tame it. I'll use Punctuate by Newfangled Audio and suppress the transients. With the frequency bands, I'll control where this suppression occurs, which can help control plosives in the lows and other unwanted vocal transients. Let's try this out on the vocal and take a listen.
Love isn't fair, but why do I care? She doesn't listen. Love isn't fair, but why do I care? She doesn't listen.
Advanced Vocal Leveling, Part 1. For these next two chapters, I'm going to share some experimental techniques, so let me know what you think about them. Now first, I'm going to duplicate my vocal twice. On the vocal and its duplicates, I'll insert EQs. With the first EQ, I'll isolate the lows. With the second EQ, I'll isolate the mids. And with the last EQ, I'll isolate the highs, meaning each vocal track isolates a specific frequency range. For each EQ, I'll need to set the processing to a linear phase setting to avoid phase cancellation, so I'll set it to a low linear phase setting. Next, I'll use volume automation on each track to control the level of my vocals' lows, mids, and highs. By having this amount of control, I can really level my vocal in an in-depth way. Then, I'll change their outputs to a bus and process them collectively on that bus. This is definitely a time-consuming process, but let me know if this is something that you'd like to try out. Let's take a listen.
Love isn't fair, but why do I care? She doesn't listen. Love isn't fair, but why do I care? She doesn't listen.
If you're enjoying the channel, you can use the search box to watch more of our videos. Advanced Vocal Leveling, Part 2. For this chapter, I'm going to use the same setup that I used last chapter with the 3 separate tracks and their EQs. This time though, I'm going to use clip gain to attenuate both unwanted sibilants and plosives by affecting my high frequency track and low frequency track respectively. On the high frequency track, I'll find any and all sibilants that's too aggressive, then isolate it and reduce its amplitude with clip gain. On the low frequency track, I'll do the same for plosives, isolate them, and attenuate. Let's take a listen to this and note that this method's usefulness is definitely going to depend on how aggressive your track's sibilants and plosives are.
Love isn't fair, but why do I care? She doesn't listen. Love isn't fair, but why do I care? She doesn't listen.
Leveling with dynamic EQ. Let's get back to some more normal processing by using a dynamic EQ on our vocal. I'll enable the dynamic aspect of the band, reduce the range, and then set a quicker attack and release. I'll do this for any frequency ranges of the vocal that I want to control. 250 Hz as well as 3 to 5 kHz are both great ranges to control when you're trying to level your vocal. Let's take a listen to it.
Love isn't fair, but why do I care? She doesn't listen. Love isn't fair, but why do I care? She doesn't listen.
Augmenting the vocal during chorus. We've discussed controlling your vocal using automation or various forms of processing, but in this last chapter, let's combine the two to augment our vocal where it's needed. For example, let's use an EQ and create a band at 3 to 5 kHz. Then, let's automate this band's gain. Now, whenever the chorus hits, we can amplify this band by say 1 to 2 dB to make it cut through and stick out. Or if we wanted the opposite effect, we could attenuate this band using automation. Let's take a listen to this band being amplified and notice how it makes the vocal cut through the mix.
Love isn't fair, but why do I care? She doesn't listen. Love isn't fair, but why do I care? She doesn't listen.
If you have a mix that you need mastered, send it to us to receive a free mastered sample of it with the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching.